Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into FNB EWallet.
Oh yeah, this one's interesting.
It really is. I mean, it's a mobile money platform that's absolutely huge in South Africa.
It is, yeah. Like we were looking at all this research and I mean, it's really making waves over there.
For sure. And our goal today is to really break it down for you guys listening, so you know not just like how to use it.
Right, the nuts and bolts.
Yeah, exactly. But also why it matters.
The bigger picture.
Right, because it really is a fascinating story. All right, you ready to dive in?
Absolutely, let's go.
So maybe we can start with you. What stood out to you as you were like learning about EWallet and doing all this research?
Well, I think the thing that struck me most was the potential it has, I mean, to like revolutionize finance in South Africa.
Yeah.
Especially for people who don't have access to like traditional banking. It's like a game changer for them.
It's like opening up a whole new world for those who've been shut out of the financial system.
Exactly. And that's what I find so exciting about it.
Okay, so let's like break it down then.
Okay.
Like for someone who's never heard of EWallet before, what is it?
So basically it's like a digital wallet, like right on your phone.
Okay.
And you can use it to send and receive money, manage your money, even if you don't have a bank account.
And that's huge in a place like South Africa where not everyone has access to traditional banking.
Exactly. It's like incredibly accessible. Like anyone with a South African cell phone number can sign up.
So it's pretty simple to get started then.
It really is. And it goes beyond just like basic transactions. You can use it to pay bills, buy airtime or data, even withdraw cash from ATMs.
So it's like having a bank in your pocket.
Exactly. It's super convenient.
Okay, I'm sold. But why should our listeners care?
Well, like imagine needing to send money to a family member like right away. Maybe they're in a rural area or something. Or think about like paying for groceries without having to handle cash.
Right.
That's the kind of power EWallet gives you. It's fast, it's convenient, and often it's way cheaper than other money transfer services.
So it's like saving people time and money. Okay, but how does it actually work in the South African context?
So that's what's really interesting about EWallet. It's like a perfect fit for South Africa, because mobile phone penetration there is like super high.
Right, everyone's got a phone.
Yeah, but access to traditional banking is still limited for a lot of people. So EWallet bridges that gap.
So it's like it was made for South Africa.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, I'm convinced. Let's say our listener wants to sign up. What's the first step?
So the first thing you need to do is get your EWallet PIN.
Okay.
And there are two main ways to do that. The first is by using your cell phone. You just dial this code. It looks like this *120*277 hash.
Okay, gotta remember that.
Yeah, and it's a USSD code, so you don't even need internet access. And from there, you'll be prompted to set up your PIN at an FNB ATM.
All right, it's simple enough. What's the other way?
You can also go directly to an FNB ATM and use the cardless services option to get your PIN. It's pretty straightforward.
So a couple different ways to get started. Is that for security reasons?
You got it. FNB is really big on security. Like they take it very seriously.
Right.
So making you set your PIN at an ATM just adds another layer of protection.
That makes sense. And actually, speaking of PINs, I read that you can create a temporary PIN for ATM withdrawals that's only good for like 4 hours.
Oh yeah, that's a really cool feature. I mean, it's super helpful if you're worried about someone seeing your PIN.
So it's like an extra layer of protection on top of the security measures they already have in place.
Exactly. It's really smart.
So it sounds like FNB is going above and beyond to keep people's money safe.
Oh, absolutely. And that's really important when you're talking about financial transactions. You know you need to be able to trust the system.
For sure. Okay, so we've got the basics down. We know how to get started. And we know that FNB is serious about security.
Right.
But what about like practical tips for keeping your e-wallet safe on a day-to-day basis?
Well, the most important thing is to choose a strong and unique PIN. And don't use something easy to guess like your birthday or something.
Right.
And change it up regularly, just to be safe. And here's a big one, no matter what, never, ever share your PIN with anyone.
Not even if they say they're from FNB.
Nope, not even then. There are a lot of scams out there and you got to be careful.
Good point. So what else can people do to stay safe?
Well, make sure you turn on those transaction notifications.
Oh, right. Those are helpful.
Yeah, you'll get an alert on your phone anytime there's activity on your account. That way you'll know right away if something's fishy.
And you can catch it before it's too late.
Exactly. And always log out of the app or the ATM when you're done.
Right.
It's a simple thing, but it makes a big difference.
Yeah, little things like that can really add up.
They do.
Okay, but let's be realistic. Sometimes things go wrong. Yeah. What happens if our listener runs into a problem? Like, say they don't get their PIN or they can't reset it. What should they do?
Well, if you don't get your PIN by text, the first thing to do is double check that the phone number linked to your EWallet account is right. and make sure it's active. You can do that by dialing that same USSD code we talked about before.
It's like that code's your best friend.
Pretty much.
Okay, but what if the phone number's right and you still don't get your PIN?
Well, sometimes a simple fix is just to restart your phone. And you might want to check and see if you accidentally blocked any numbers from FNB.
Good point. Sometimes it's the simplest things.
It really is. Technology can be fickle sometimes.
Okay, what about problems during the PIN reset process?
The most common issue is messing up the one-time PIN you get by text. So always double check that you entered it right. And those on-screen instructions at the ATM are there for a reason, so follow them carefully.
Sometimes the simplest solution is the best one.
It really is. No need to overcomplicate things.
Right. Okay, what if you tried all that and you're still stuck?
If all else fails, it's time to call in the professionals. FNB has a great customer support team, and they're ready to help.
Awesome. So there's always someone to turn to.
Exactly. They've got you covered. Oh, and just a quick tip, when you do call them, have your info ready, like your ID number and e-wallet details.
Oh, right. So they can verify your identity?
Yeah. It's just another way FNB makes sure everything is secure, which is reassuring.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we've talked about the benefits of e-wallet, all the different ways you can use it, and even what to do if things go wrong.
Right.
But I keep coming back to this idea of financial inclusion. It's just such a powerful concept.
It really is. I mean, it makes you think, doesn't it? We've seen how e-wallet is changing the game in South Africa, but could it work in other parts of the world too?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, could a service like e-wallet be the key to unlocking financial inclusion on a global scale?
That's what we're going to explore next.
Can't wait. All right, everyone, stay tuned for part 2 of our e-wallet deep dive, where we'll be tackling that very question.
We'll be right back after the break.
All right, so we're back, and we've been talking all about FNB EWallet and how it's changing the game in South Africa.
Yeah, and I think it's time to zoom out a bit.
Yeah, let's get that bigger picture view.
Right, because there's more to this story than just convenience.
Totally.
Yeah.
What else is driving this popularity?
Well, if you look at it, e-wallet is playing a key role in this whole idea of financial inclusion.
Financial inclusion?
Yeah, which is giving everyone access to financial services, no matter who they are or how much money they make.
That's powerful.
It is. And in South Africa, where traditional banking just isn't an option for a lot of people, e-wallet really empowers them to take control of their finances.
So it's leveling the playing field in a way.
Exactly. It's giving everyone an equal chance to participate.
I like that. So can you give us some examples of how that's playing out in South Africa?
Oh, totally. So imagine small business owners in townships who can now receive payments electronically.
Right.
Or people in rural areas who can access microloans through their phones. E-wallet opens up so many possibilities.
Yeah, it's creating opportunities that wouldn't exist otherwise.
Exactly. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
So it's not just about convenience then, it's about social impact too.
It is, and the lower fees associated with e-wallet make a real difference too, especially for people who rely on these services every day.
Right, because traditional money transfer services can be pretty expensive.
Oh yeah, for sure. But e-wallet offers a much more affordable alternative.
So it's more accessible in every sense of the word.
Absolutely.
All right, so we've talked about sending and receiving money, but what else can you do with e-wallet?
Oh man. So much. You can pay bills, buy prepaid electricity for your home or airtime for your phone. You can even withdraw cash from ATMs.
Look, a one-stop shop for all your financial needs.
It really is. And the bill payment feature is a game changer.
Yeah, I was reading about that in our research. It seems like a huge benefit for people who don't have traditional bank accounts.
Absolutely. No more standing in long lines or paying extra fees to pay your bills.
Right. E-wallet just makes it so much easier.
It does. Technology can be pretty amazing sometimes.
It really can. And it seems like FNB has made e-wallet accessible to everyone, no matter their tech skills.
That's a great point. You can use it with those simple USSD codes if you're more comfortable with a basic phone. Or if you prefer a more visual experience, you can use the smartphone app with all the bells and whistles.
So they've really thought of everything.
They have. It's clear they're committed to making financial services truly inclusive.
Okay, so let's talk about that temporary PM for ATM withdrawals again. That seems like a really unique feature.
Yeah, it's pretty clever. So let's say you need to withdraw cash, but you haven't gotten your regular ATM PIN yet. Or maybe you're just being extra cautious.
Right.
You just dial that USSD code *120*277# from your registered phone number, select Get Cash, and they'll send you a temporary PIN by text.
Oh, that's handy.
And this PIN is only good for one transaction within 4 hours. After that, it expires.
So even if someone got a hold of your temporary PI, they wouldn't have much time to use it.
Exactly. It's a really smart way to add extra protection.
Especially for people who might be new to digital financial services and are a little worried about security.
For sure. It gives people peace of mind.
I like that. Okay, but let's be real. What happens if something goes wrong? Like, what if I don't get my PIN or I can't reset it?
Don't worry, there are solutions for that too.
Yeah.
If you don't get your PIN by text, first thing to do is double check that the phone number linked to your eWallet account is correct and active. You can do that by dialing that same USSD code.
Oh, right. It's like that code is your go-to for everything.
It pretty much is.
What if the phone number is right, though, and you still don't get the PIN?
Try restarting your phone. That can fix a lot of tech issues.
Sometimes the simplest solutions are the best.
Right. And while you're at it, make sure you haven't accidentally blocked any numbers from FNB.
Oh, good point. Okay, but what about problems resetting your PIN?
Most common issue is people making a mistake with the one-time PIN they get by text. So always double check that you entered it right. And pay attention to those on-screen instructions at the ATM.
Right.
They're there to help you.
So don't overthink it, just follow the steps.
Exactly. But if you've tried all that and you're still having trouble,
Yeah, what then?
time to call for backup. FNB has a dedicated customer support team, and they're super helpful.
So you're never really on your own.
Nope, they've got your back. Oh, and one more thing, when you call them, have your personal info ready.
Like your ID number and e-wallet details,
Yeah, they'll need to verify your identity before they can help you.
which is another good sign that FNB takes security seriously.
Exactly. It's all about protecting your money.
I like that. Okay, so we've talked about the benefits of e-wallet, the different ways to use it, and even how to troubleshoot common problems.
Right, we've covered a lot of ground.
We have, but I'm still stuck on this idea of financial inclusion.
It's a big one.
It is. It's such a powerful concept. And it makes me wonder if e-wallet could be a model for other parts of the world.
Yeah. Could it work outside of South Africa?
Could it be the key to unlocking financial inclusion on a global scale?
It's a great question and one we're going to tackle right after this.
Okay, so we're back and we left off talking about e-wallet's potential impact on a global scale.
Right. Could this be the key to unlocking financial inclusion in other parts of the world?
I mean, many developing countries face similar challenges to South Africa, right?
Totally. They have high mobile phone usage, but limited access to traditional banking.
So could e-wallet be a model for those places?
Well, it's definitely a model worth considering. I mean, imagine farmers in remote villages getting paid for their crops directly through their phones.
Wow, yeah.
Or women entrepreneurs getting microloans to start businesses, or families sending money to loved ones across borders without those crazy fees.
Like, e-wallet could help level the playing field on a global scale.
Yeah, exactly. It could give everyone a chance to participate in the economy.
But it wouldn't be without its challenges, right?
Of course not. Rolling out a service like this worldwide would mean dealing with different regulations, different infrastructure, and even different cultures.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
Definitely not. Each region would need its own approach.
But the core principles of e-wallet, like accessibility, affordability, and user-friendliness.
Those could be a starting point for sure.
So maybe e-wallet is just the beginning.
I think it could be. It feels like we're on the verge of a major shift in how people manage their money.
And e-wallet is leading the way.
It's an exciting time to be witnessing all of this.
It really is. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. What are the key takeaways our listeners should remember?
Well, first off, FNB eWallet is a game changer for financial inclusion, not just in South Africa, but potentially worldwide.
It's giving people the power to manage their money, even if they don't have a traditional bank account.
And it's super easy to use, whether you go with the USSD codes or the smartphone app.
But don't forget about security.
Right. Choose a strong PI, enable those transaction notifications, and never, ever share your PIN with anyone.
Great advice. So what's next for our listeners who are now totally intrigued by eWallet?
Well, I'd say go check out FNB's website or their app.
Yeah, do some more digging.
See how eWallet is being used in real life.
Read some reviews.
Exactly. And if you're feeling adventurous, why not give it a try yourself?
Yeah, experience firsthand how convenient it is.
It's a chance to be a part of something that's really changing the world.
I love that. Well, that's it for our deep dive into FNB eWallet.
Thanks for joining us.
We hope you learned something new and that you're feeling inspired to explore the world of digital financial services.
Until next time.
Keep on learning and keep on diving deep.